Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be here with me today. Walter here at the workbench with a whole bunch of saws out here, and wanted to chat with you a little bit about sawing. Now, last time we talked about sawing a bit. We were talking about not practicing how to cut dovetails, just practice sawing. So I thought I would share with you my collection, well, a limited portion of my collection of Japanese saws and my Western saw for tenon cutting or dovetail cutting. And what I've done here is I've just made a whole bunch of lines, okay, just as a guide. And unfortunately, I have a vise. We talked about this once before. I don't know if I can do it with my ruler or not. You don't want your vise to rack, and you should always have a spacer on either side. So, first up, I want to speak with you about the gent saw, also known as a dovetail saw. It is a rip tooth. It's sharpened straight across, set finely, and it is designed for ripping, which would be for tenons and dovetails. And with all Western saws, we start them typically on the pull stroke. Now, one thing you can do is you can make a knife line, a notch, and a knife line, because what you have to do with a Western saw is you have to start the saw on the pull stroke, okay, so that you can begin the curve, and then you push forward, okay? Now, I've seen a lot of beginners stand like this in front of their work wanting to make a cut. And what they're doing is they're looking at it with both eyes, and they're placing it in such a position that you have no place for your hand to go. It's coming into your belly. So you want to stand slightly to the side of whichever eye and hand is dominant. Okay, and then you tilt a little bit, pull, push, and nice, even cuts. Okay, I'm not even pushing. Saw is doing most of the work. So, with a Japanese saw, now this is a number S291 made by Gyokucho, and it is both rip and crosscut. Now, if I use the rip, it is quite a coarse rip. With a Japanese saw, you start those on the push. And that one leaves slightly heavier kerf than my Western saw. But this is more of a carpenter saw because it has both rip and crosscut. So you can do miters and you can do rips and trims. But this one comes in handy here in the shop. Also, this one comes in handy if I'm taking something from here to the house to work on. So it makes it portable. I have 5 of these from 180 on up to 300 or 400 millimeter. Now, if I were to use the crosscut side, much slower cut. It's not designed for ripping. These other saws are interesting. And let me tell you how I acquire these saws. Over the years, I looked for finer and finer quality dovetail saws. And I found that the Japanese style saws give me a far better result than a tenon saw. However, there's so many different styles. For instance, this one has a partial back here, and it's flexible. Okay? This one, same partial back, rounded front, stiffer, thicker. That's a thicker steel. This one has a full back, thinner blade, finer cut. Now, if I were to take one of these, now here too, even though it's a pull stroke, you don't want to be pulling it into you. Now, there are times you'll see Japanese woodworkers using both hands, and generally it's for ripping or cross-cutting heavier timbers, and they're using it further away from them, so they're pulling the whole thing. But you can't, also here too, you can't stand here, at least I can't, and get any sort of decent action cutting that way. Now this one is thinner, much more flexible. Very nice cut. The only thing, this is flexible, and your cuts could wander a bit. This one is my absolute favorite for dovetails. It's fine, and if you don't jump out of the cut, it tracks perfectly. You can, with this saw, you can literally, and I'm not kidding, you can split a pencil line in half. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you wanted to use it for cross-cutting, you can as well. So this is the model S372 by Gyokucho. This is the S400. Like I said, this one is thicker. And this is the S105. It's thinner. Let me see, is it as thin? No, it's not as thin as the 372. I can't even put the steel into that. No. So the 372 is the thinnest. And actually, my dovetail saw is like right in the middle of the thickness of the Japanese saws. So what I'll do is I'll do some research. Oh, I was getting back to tell you how I buy these. So I try to buy one brand. It's highly recommended. And I try to buy from one vendor. And these all came from Woodcraft. However, I usually will put them in my shopping cart if I think I'm going to want one, and I wait and I see if they go on sale. Sometimes they went on a 50% off sale, 60% off sale. And guess what Walter did? He bought it when it was on sale. And sometimes that's what you have to do because these tools are not cheap. So they're fun. That is a coarse rip. I would not use that typically for fine dovetail work. I might if I'm making a shipping crate. And this is the next coarsest one. But just remember to have your locomotive going here, okay? Just like a locomotive train. Start your cut, get into the cut. Once you're in solidly, then you can move faster. Now I've got a funny feeling this one is actually a crosscut saw. I will look them up, let you know. And remember to use most of the blade. Okay? Make less strokes that way. See? Whoops. That is unless you're trying to demonstrate and you keep jumping out of the curve. So there you go, everybody. So you know that noise? That's vibration. That's from being supported too high up and the vise is slightly racked. Speaking of vices, not too bad. I got a couple that I wandered on. Speaking of vices, I've been contemplating of switching the workshop over to left-handed. And I don't know if I can convert this vise over to left-handed or not. I know there's a whole assembly underneath. I remember when I got it here and I put it together, that can be unbolted and relocated. However, there are no other holes drilled anywhere to accept it. So I thought, okay, I could possibly remove it from underneath and then put it on this side in order to line up the dog holes, all these dog holes. I would have to drill 3 holes and try to line it up that way. The other option is to just move it down here, but there isn't a series of dog holes, which not a big deal. I don't know. I'm going to have to think this one through, but that's about it for this one. So remember, you don't saw like this, bringing the handle into your belly. You saw over here, locomotive style, okay? Dominant eye, whichever it is, right or left, okay? And it goes the same for the Japanese saws. You want, if you're doing light work like this, it's single-handed anyway, and these fine saws don't require 2 hands, so you're doing it just like that. You try to do it in here, you're going to be hitting yourself with the handle. Maybe it's common sense and everybody knows it, but I thought I'd mention it. So head out to your shop, check out your saws, make sure they're sharp, practice your cutting. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're having a great day and may you be richly blessed. Walter out.